I met President Bush. He came to Tinker to speak to a formal dinner, and he wanted to fly in an AWACS to Colorado after his speech, and I was commander of the AWACS, so I was going to fly him. Well, the Secret Service came to Tinker, and they checked everything out and made sure that everything was secure. They did it for about 3 weeks. So when President Bush came there and he spoke to dinner, then we got in a motorcade. We went to the flight line, and I kept everybody off the airplane because we had to go on the airplane and change clothes. I had a flight suit for him in his size. I had boots. I had a jacket. And I didn't want a picture of the President of the United States on the front page of the Oklahoman. So we kept the press off, and we changed clothes. And when he put his flight suit on, there was a little thread on a seam. It was a new flight suit, and I got my knife out, my little knife that General Creech had given me, that he gives all wing commanders. And on that knife, it has the crest of the command, and it says, "Make it better." You turn it over, and it says, "Make it happen." And that's what leaders are supposed to do: make it better and make it happen. So I got this knife out, and I opened the little scissors, and I was going to clip the thread off of the seam of President Bush's flight jacket. I got that out, and I clipped that seam off, and I folded it. And he said, "Let me see that." He said, "Make it better, make it happen." He said, "Can I have that?" And I said, "No." I said, "Every day I look at that, and that's what I've got to do, and I can't get another one of those. I got to make it better, make it happen." He said, "Okay, well, I'll give you one of my knives." So he reached in his pocket, and he got this knife out that I still have, and it, on one side, it has the presidential seal, and on the other side, it has his signature, his autograph in gold. And he gave me that knife. Well, later I told General Creech, I said, I flew the President Bush in an AWACS to Colorado, and I used my knife to clip some threads off his flight suit, and he wanted my knife, and I wouldn't give it to him. He said, "Well, you should have given it to him. I'd give you another." And I said, "I didn't know that." So General Creech and I became very close friends, and we talked every day. And I was a military advisor to Senator Inhofe, who is now chairman of the Senate Armed Services Committee. And so General Creech would see things that need to be done in the Air Force. He knew I was going to Washington, and I was working with the senator, and I could go over to the Pentagon and talk to the Chief of Staff of the Air Force and tell them things that need to be done in the Air Force. So General Creech was still influencing the Air Force through me, through the Chief of Staff of the Air Force. So I used to go over there every day. And so we became very close friends. We talked every day. He called me every day. And as he was nearing the end of his life, he said, "When my life ends, would you come out to Nevada and help Carol, my wife?" So one day when I was going to teach my class at OU in 2003, I got a call from the Chief of Staff of the Air Force and said, "The boss has died. I'll meet you in Nevada." So I went to Nevada, and Mrs. Creech picked me up at the airport and took me to their home, and I was helping. Mrs. Creech said Bill, her husband, General Creech, had asked to be buried with only one thing, and that was his knife. I said, "Make it better, make it happen." But he lost it. I said, "I have one, and I'll give it to him." And that knife that I wouldn't give to President Bush is buried with General Creech in Arlington National Cemetery. Now, at the funeral, I told this story about President Bush, and the former chief of staff of that organization says, "I have some of those knives in my home in Florida. I'll send you one." So the knife that I showed you is not the one that I used to clip the threads off of President Bush's seam. It's a replica because that knife is buried with General Creech in Arlington National Cemetery. But, there's so many people. in our lives that teach us, that help us. And so we need to do that when we gain experience. We need to help others like those who have helped us.